What up, y'all? This is VECtore, aka the man behind the scenes or works behind the shadows. So, if you haven't noticed already, or if you haven't been following our channel, Devo recently did a video on 5 tips on how to plan an event, and I want to follow that and do an extension of that as well. And one in particular is pitch proposals and how to plan for that. So, I mean, based on our experience and a little bit backstory, as far as that, as far as pitching, we were comfortable as far as pitching to, the class or school projects. But as far as pitching to groups, organizations, that was we were diving into new grounds. So, I wanted to share what has helped us in terms of preparing for a pitch or proposal. So, number one is gathering all your materials. And what I mean by that is, printing out your PDF or PowerPoint presentation. Whoever is coordinating this meeting, as far as for your pitch or proposal, email that person and politely ask them roughly how many people are going to be in this meeting, and just based on by that X number, just print out that number of PDFs or your presentation. But also, just to be on the safe side, I would print out an additional 5. For example, when we presented to the city, there's roughly around 12 people or so we printed out 15. And I mean, they don't necessarily have to be spectacular prints. Just regular black and whites will suffice. I mean, of course, if you can afford to go that little extra route, then for all means go for it, because presentation is key. As far as that, to go a little bit more into the first touch point is if you have data for your event, as far as getting feedback from conducting surveys from your event and converting all that data, testimonies, that is also beneficial as well. It also reassures the organization or the city or whoever you're presenting to or pitching your idea, possible reassurance on our return on investments, or just giving them a rough idea as the possibilities, just from attendance or the audience experience from the event. Also, if you have a little lookbook about the event or photos of the event, that would be great. One thing that we also did in the past was did a quick maybe 30-second video about our event. So if some of those individuals weren't able to attend, they have an idea of our event. Second is of course rehearsing for your pitch. How D. Will and I strategize with this was, if it was just me and him, I always like to be the technical guy. But if it's gonna just be me and him proposing, then we always discuss who was gonna talk, what subject, or which PowerPoint, who's gonna speak on who. Naturally, you're gonna be nervous. That's a given. Everyone's gonna be nervous, and I'm here to tell you that it's normal. It's okay. Eventually, the more you do it, the more easy it will be. As far as example, I'm very camera shy. You can see some of my resumes, and compared to what I first started to where I am now, there's growth. But going off on a tangent, just discussing, who's going to talk about who, which slide each person has, and just rehearsing as best as you can. There's going to be things that you might forget, but some of the things that helped me in the past, of course, is like doing subtle gestures, like as far as like, if you get a little bit nervous, doing subtle gestures to yourself, or possibly just nothing that's too distracting, or doing something like this, like to snap you back, from getting nervous, or to remind you like, oh, this is what I need to talk about. Well, now I remember. This is what I also need to touch on, because just an experience, and sometimes you do forget, or sometimes you go in the heat of the moment, as far as like talking about like a specific subject, or sometimes like specific individuals may ask questions and kind of throw you off a little bit, and then you try to backtrack, and then you're like, oh shoot, what was it gonna talk about? Those little subtle gestures to yourself like helps you, like, oh, that's where I'm at, or that's what I need to talk about. Third, if you have a group, like 3 or more, what I used to do, or what I like to propose as far as like the group, is coordination. And what I mean by coordination is, the same lines as far as the extension of, presenting. So when it was D-Will, me, and a third person at the time, Furman, was I knew for the fact, as far as like, I'm real good when it comes to like the little details, or the what ifs, or the technical side is certain things that might possibly happen. And I also was aware that D-Will and Furman, they're very good at public speaking and socializing with people. So I knew they were the 2 strongest in line. But say if something goes haywire, I knew I was gonna be quick about it, as far as like taking care of that. So I guess to sum it up short, like figure out like, if there's a group presentation or 3 or more of you in that pitch proposal, like figure out your strengths and weaknesses, and just have like an agreement on. There's been cases where like, all right, D-Will will say like, all right, VECtore, you're gonna take care of this. You're gonna talk about this touch point. You're gonna talk about this. This is your slide, so this is where you're gonna cover, and boom, 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 boom. So yeah, and going into that, as far as that subject, as far as like details, I would say is plan for worst case scenario. And what I mean by that, as far as like worst case scenario, is try to think of it as where it's like, okay, I'm going to a pitch, I'm going to a proposal. What don't they have? So you got to think about, okay, what if they don't have a display screen? What if they don't have a projector? What if they don't have a computer where I can show my PowerPoint or PDF presentation? You got to think about those things. So you always got to be preparing those aspects. Another thing is, what if their USB is not working? So always prep yourself as far as like, if you can, just bring your laptop just in case. Bring a couple extra USBs, because you never know, you might misplace one, or your other USB might not be working. Another thing my instructor, or former instructor, used to tell us was bring an extension cord, because you never know, things happen. And then my 5th touch point is, for me specifically, or I would say for anybody that's an introvert, sad to say, it's if you're going to, this is my thing, if you're going to be going to a field that's creative, and you're gonna have to pitch, you're gonna have to do proposals, so that means you're gonna have to talk. So with that being said, I mean, it's something eventually you're gonna have to get over it. Like, yes, I understand, to some it's a struggle. Like, I mean, I'm struggling still, but it's something, it's one of those important skills that it's beneficial in life, just in general. Like, just go out there. Like I mean, there's no right and wrong way as far as how to be more social. My suggestion is just do what's comfortable for you, whether it's just talking to a mirror, talking to close friends that will give you that honest feedback or constructive criticisms when it comes to speaking. Or one thing, for example, D-Well used to say was I will always say or pretty much. And what I'm doing right now is and you can also when you look at it from a standpoint, I used to record myself and count how many times I would say those words, like I just did now. So those are some of the things that helped us as far as pitching proposals. Of course, was being prepared, being organized, of course, rehearsing your pitch proposal. But the most important thing is just go in there, have fun. Just be confident. I mean, there's gonna be individuals that are gonna ask questions about what you're pitching proposal, whether it be your event or whether you're asking for money or a grant to specific individuals. The main thing, the important thing is always be prepared. Always have, if you can, have data that backs up, what you're talking about. Or if you have success stories or anything that can vouch for it, always put that. Oh, that reminds me. For those of you that don't know, what is always beneficial, or what helped us stood from everybody else, was we did a process book. So for our Street Glyphics event, asked D-Will, should we do a process book? And he's pretty much open to it. So I took on the task to build that process book. And for those that don't know what a process book, I mean, I'll explain it in a later video. But just to sum it up, is it talks about the data of your event. It also talks about a little backstory, the reasons behind why you designed it this way, and it narrows down all your research. And it also includes what I mentioned, all the data that you accumulated, whether from testimonials, from surveys, and all of that, things of that nature. Also the cost of things. So yeah, especially if you're asking for a grant, what a lot of groups and organizations appreciate a lot was supplying them that expense report. So it shows them okay, this is where your money went to, or this is where your money is going to. And it's not a requirement, but I mean, in the long run, from our experience, a lot of these specific individuals or organizations did appreciate that we supplied an expense report and a process book. So Googling what process book is, or YouTube what process book is. But other than that, like, be on the lookout for that, as far as like me explaining what a process book is. So on that note, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and let us know in the comments like what we can improve on, or if you have questions, like, feel free to hit us up. We're very much an open book. We're very transparent. We like to help out or elaborate on, like, how we can help, you guys that are interested in going that route, be successful, or what has helped us. So on that note, tap into your potential. Peace.